Hey guys, so Pete and Maree here,
Hello.
and little Sunshine. I thought I would do this video, reason being, like most of you probably, or a few of you may have read the article that I posted last week on the Chastity page that got a bit of controversy around the masculine and feminine energies and stuff, and there's probably maybe a little bit taken out of context and stuff. So Maree's a good friend of mine, mentor, and one of my coaches that I've been working with probably for the last couple of years, would you say?
Yep, yep.
Bit of a guru in the masculine, feminine energy industry, and she's really helped me so much with my struggle with my masculinity, I suppose, and she knows a lot about it. So I thought it'd be a good idea to do a little video with Maree that hopefully can shed a bit of light on the masculine and feminine energy, because it's whenever I done my coaching course, NLP and life coaching course, the topic of masculine and feminine was the most interesting topic of the course, and it really shed a light on a lot of stuff in my life. And I think for me, becoming aware of it and then understanding it and then be able to do something about it, which really helps me. So I hope today this video can maybe help you guys. That's my goal from this. So I'll hand it over to Maree, and so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so where we go to. So I think when I read some of the comments that came through on the blog page, the things that jumped out to me was that when we hear about this topic of masculine and feminine energy, we sometimes jump to society norms. So we think, well, what's the role of a man and what's the role of a woman? And really what we're talking about is each man and woman physical being has both masculine and feminine energy within their bodies, and they have those requirements to balance those out. So when I talk about masculine and feminine, we're actually really talking about what do you want to experience in your life? So what sort of relationship do you want to have? And the balance of those energies can actually determine the quality of those relationships. And the reason that is because scientifically they are polar opposites. So they have a different energetic requirement, and that's how they attract to each other. So if you want to attract a beautiful feminine woman, then you need to be in your masculine man to attract her. If you're not in that space, you'll only attract a masculine woman. And that's where in today's society we get a lot of unfulfilled relationships. And I work with lots of people that are either in committed marriage relationships or single trying to find a relationship. And they're really confused about why they're not getting what they want and why they're not feeling what they want to feel. So I'd like to start off saying there's actually no right or wrong way to have a relationship. It's really what you want to experience. So if you're a woman who is in her masculine and loves that, and wants to be with a man who she's the most dominant person within the relationship, and that works for both people, well then that's fine.
You see that a lot, like sometimes in relationships, the dominant woman and then the sort of, I suppose, the quieter guy.
And look, there's a society reason for that right now. I mean, one thing we also need to remember is we're in a point in history right now, which is it's very different to what history was like. You know, we go back 5,000 years ago, the world was very different. We're in a patriarchal system right now where the masculine qualities, not just men, but masculine qualities dominate the way that we live our lives. You know, we're structured from a masculine perspective. You know, corporations and companies are masculinely put together. They're process focused, they're system focused, they're decision making. And if you're part of that process, then you use your masculine energy to actually participate.
Yeah, to fulfill that.
Yeah. So one thing we need to remember is there are qualities of both, and our biology needs both of them. So it's not a matter of saying, you know, if I want to be successful, I need to be more masculine. It's really we can have the two biologies matching each other. We have more power, more energy, more influence, more connection to actually get what we need or experience what we want to experience. So let's think about it from maybe more of a physical perspective. So if we think about our left and right brain, most people have heard that we have two parts of our brain. The left part of our brain has very similar attributes to what masculine energy is.
Yeah, logical.
Yep, process focused, decision making. So we go into a company where we have to use our left side of our brain to participate. The right side of our brain has very similar qualities, not all of them, to what feminine energy is. Creativity, communication, connection, intuition, knowingness. That's the right side of our brain. Now, if we take it to a society level, in this point in history in our society, we don't have as many opportunities to use our right side of our brain.
And that's due to school as well, I suppose. Like, school has trained us to learn, listen, repeat, and all left brain stuff, isn't it?
Totally. So if we look at how we, especially in Western society, when we're born, 0 to 7 years, we're growing, we take everything from the environment that we're in, and then put into a homogenous education system where we're taught to be graded, that one against the other, that this is better than this, that we're allowed to judge, and we're all left brain the whole way through. We might have some right brain activities, but not like it was if you go back thousands of years ago.
Yeah, very limited.
Where education was really on the right side of the brain. So part of it is us being able to balance that back out, not because you need to, but because from a biology perspective, your body needs it. So to fuel the left side of your brain, let's say, or the masculine side of your body, it's different hormones. And to fuel the right side of your brain, or the feminine energy, it's different hormones again. So if you think about, if you've just used one side of your energy system constantly, that's going to be overcompensated for the other one. The other one's definitely weaker. Now that has an impact on our health. It has an impact on our organs. So there's a ramification in our society of where it goes when we don't balance ourselves out. But more importantly, it actually impacts how we can relate to each other.
Yeah, and that's what's good to understand and become aware of this, because then it links up to so much stuff that you go, that's why this is happening, this is why this is happening. This is why it's so fascinating to me to learn this stuff, because you can track out what's happening and then do something about it, instead of the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over
Exactly.
and expecting a different result. So this is what's so good about this, and I really, really hope that this is shedding some light on some stuff for people.
Yeah, so people are having, relationships is really the biggest part of our life, whether relationships at work or intimate relationships or relationships with our friends. We sort of, I generally help people that the thing that is the thing that they come to me for is they always say, I can't find the person that I want to be in a relationship with, or I keep attracting the same person, or I keep having the same issue. And we always need to start with ourselves. What are we doing with ourselves that's actually attracting that person?
Yeah, you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are.
Exactly right. And so if you're in a feminine male state, the only female that you can actually attract is a masculine woman. So if you're looking to be able to be more masculine in yourself, then you need to bring that out before a feminine woman will come about.
And you have to know how to bring it about, and have to know what it is, because that's, for me, being raised by a mum and 3 older sisters, I had a higher feminine energy. This is how it came about for me, and I found it really easy to talk to women and stuff. And then for me to learn about this and start working on my masculine and bringing it through and getting a balance for both, it's not easy. Like it's you're breaking habits of a lifetime, and it's work involved, but it's good work. It's resourceful.
It's a really good point, because if I talk to a masculine woman and I talk to her about, well, we need to get more of your right brain or your feminine energy working, it's so unfamiliar to her that it's quite frightening. Just as when I talk to a man who's trying to build his masculinity, the feeling of it is very unfamiliar, so they're not quite sure how to do it, because you're actually asking your hormones to change. So, for example, in a male's body, the use of testosterone, the level where they're in a masculine state, for some men is quite frightening, because it's a feeling they're unfamiliar with. And, men are physically stronger than women. So we go through that journey with them. It's about, well, now you know what to feel like. They say, I don't want to feel like that because I might hurt somebody, or I actually don't know how to control that. Same thing happens for women. I don't want to be the soft, pansy girl who has to be taken care of, because at first it feels very unfamiliar. So you're right, it's a bit of work to actually get familiar with what that feels like in your body, because your body actually changes what it's using from an energy perspective. I also think I think one of the comments on the blog page was around, something about women raising boys, and someone was saying, well, who else would do it? I think we just need to take it out of the individual situation, raise it up to a society level, because yes, we've had generations where women have been raising children, but they have also been women who have not had to work. So when they've been with the children, they've also had a man somewhere in the picture.
Some sort of role model.
Yeah. So from the age of 0 to 7, children take in all of their environment, and we only learn through modelling. So it's whoever is the person, or the television, or wherever else we get our kids to learn from, that is who we model from. If there is no masculine energy in that modelling process, then people don't know what it means.
Yeah.
They'll only model what they've got. At this point in history, we have a higher incident of things like divorce and absent, parents within the family unit. And so there is a higher incidence of unbalanced masculine and feminine energy, because we learn from the relationship that we grow up in, and if that's not balanced or it's absent, then we can only learn from what's there. And unfortunately, masculine energy is the thing that's missing the most in our society right now. And so many men don't know what it means.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I didn't even know what it meant.
No. And look, from how I got into it, my personal situation is I come from a family of, a married family, and both my parents were there, but my dad didn't have a dad. So, as I've got on thinking, well, what's happening in my relationship? Why am I attracting these people into my life? What's happening with me? I traced it back to, I actually don't understand. I've never had a masculine man in my life for me to know that's okay for me to go and get. So you model what you know.
Yeah.
But I think the key important thing is there's no right or wrong.
Yeah.
And we're not saying, no one should ever tell anybody that unless your relationship looks like X, that it's not fulfilling or it's not love or it's not right.
Yeah.
What you create in your life is really up to you.
Yeah. And whatever works, that's what I say, whatever works.
Exactly. But because there is a biological need for all of our bodies to have that balanced energy at some point, and I generally find for women it's sort of mid-30s to mid-40s, they get this feeling of being unfulfilled, and that's their feminine side of their body going, well, you need to explore this part of me. Mm-hmm. I find men, for some reason, happens younger for them, that they're actually asking questions a lot earlier about, well, I want to have a relationship and I want to have a situation where I am the man and I have a family and I create whatever it is I want to create, but they have no, I suppose, reference point for what that is.
Yeah.
So there is a biological need that will bring this up for people. If it doesn't, there's something wrong with that.
Yeah, because you don't know what you don't know.
No, you don't know what you don't know. And so I think that's probably an important point is we shouldn't be trying to defer to what we think society says we should have.
Yeah.
And this is really a personal choice. And we all know how we feel. So it's really about what is it that you want to experience? What sort of relationship do you want to experience with an intimate relationship, with your work colleagues, with your family, or whoever it is, and then work out what balance is missing. Because the balance will start with you.
Yeah, always comes down to you.
Exactly. Once you can get that balance in place, then you can start working with people. You'll find that you'll attract different people and you'll see different aspects of the friends that are already in your life because obviously attraction works that way. Mm-hmm. One's positive, one's negative.
Yeah, it's so interesting. So we're discussing probably maybe doing like a webinar series, maybe a few different webinars. So people that's watching or wants to know more about this, Maree's going to organise like a GoToMeeting webinar thing. So people can come on and interact and ask questions and stuff. So once I post this video, if people want to comment below if that's something that would be of interest, we'll get that in the pipeline and get that organised.
There's always lots of questions in this space, and unfortunately, as I said, people can jump to conclusions and take things out of context. So if people are really interested and want to ask questions, then hey, let's give them the opportunity to ask questions.
Yeah. Cool. So we'll organise that and we'll see what happens. So thanks very much, Maree. That was really good, and hopefully the viewers get something from it. Like I definitely do, and I love learning about it. So it's part of my journey too. So thanks for all your help as well.
You're welcome.
Over the last couple of years.
You're doing well.
Getting there. All right. See you, folks.
See ya.